Okay, May the 21st, Sunday evening, just before the weekly close. Let's do the market outlook and plans for the week ahead. Let's start off with the news events. There isn't anything too crazy this week to worry about. On Tuesday, we have the PMI, and then on Thursday, we have the unemployment. This is going to be not particularly a news event filled week, which is nice. We don't need to worry about that in our trading. Let's go ahead and get into the S&P. Actually, let's start off with the NAS. You can't address boomer markets without first talking about the NAS these days. The NASDAQ has just absolutely put the entire market on its back. When looking at things like the S&P, the S&P probably should have traded downwards a long time ago, but the fact that the NAS just keeps trading upwards, keeps making fresh local highs, is just strengthening my overall thesis for benchmarks continuing to trade up later in the year. So definitely recommend continuing to keep an eye on the NAS. Any period where the NAS maybe shows a little weakness and maybe pulls back, it's definitely feeling a little overextended. So once the NAS wants to cool down and pull back a little, that's probably going to give us our buy the dip opportunity on the S&P and on Bitcoin. So let's go ahead and get into the S&P talk. Nothing's changed. Actually, wow. Actually, we have changed a little bit because we've broken upwards. I did not expect this, but again, like I've talked about in the outlook several times now, the longer the S&P trades within this range, and the longer the NAS continues to trade upwards, increases the likelihood that the S&P will eventually follow. And it looks like we're getting that. So I definitely would not be interested in fading this. Would recommend paying close attention to the fresh VWAPs going into the week. If fresh VWAPs look strong, then the S&P can probably trade upwards. Pretty surprising. We just did not get the sell in May meme at all in equities so far. We got it in crypto, where crypto sold off in May. Equities have traded sideways in May, which has been pretty surprising, to be honest. So paying close attention to that. So let's talk about the S&P really quickly here. My overall plan was just, anticipating the pullback into this bid zone, so we can continue this zigzag channel pattern that we have formed for the rest of the year. What I had talked about was I figured that, from this range, it was probably more likely that we would break down from this range and find support here for upwards continuation. But with the NAS trading upwards and the S&P looking like it wants to break out, I can't be particularly bearish on this. It really looks like the S&P and the NAS are ready to, trade up again. So kind of conflicting signals here for me personally, just because I really like it when Bitcoin and the S&P line up perfectly. When I have the same trade thesis on both of them, I feel a lot more confident. So feeling a little bit odd here. Maybe Bitcoin doesn't trade down as low as I had hoped that it would. So the TLDR on the S&P is definitely wouldn't be interested in shorting it at all, or being bearish on it. As long as the NAS continues to trade up, the S&P is probably going to follow. It looks like it's starting to make its up move. FTA resistance is going to be around 44 or 4,500. So that would be pretty epic if we trade up in equities that far. It's going to present some really good opportunities in crypto to go risk on. So either way, I look at it as win-win. Either it breaks down and comes into my bid zone and I get to load up longs there, or benchmarks trade up and I can just chase the comet, grab onto the tail and ride it up as far as we can go. That's it for boomer markets, though. Let's go ahead and get into the corn. So the corn, definitely a bit different of a story here. As far as higher time frame goes, we'll run through that first. Still anticipating that we trade lower, ultimately trading into this kind of region where I think we're going to get the buy the dip zone. So we have the low volume node overlapping with the macro composite, overlapping with current year VWAP. So we have some pretty strong overlaps here. This is, this isn't something that, this isn't a plan that I just made last week. Been waiting for this for 2 months now. I know that this is a really common trade thesis, and that it gets shit on because so many people have the same plan. But experience has taught me to not really care about the fact that other people have the same plan as me. And time capitulation is very much at hand here. So it's taking so long to trade into this 25K region that I think a lot of people won't end up buying down there when we finally arrive, just because of how long it takes. nothing has changed to deviate my plan. So, expecting buy the dip still on higher time frame. As far as lower time frame goes, the corn is absolutely super bearish still. Every aspect of my, medium time frame approach is saying that we continue to trade down. So until we start to make some major reclaims on the VWAPs, and the best way to start to trend upwards again would be, having a bullish weekly VWAP this week. And then just start to reclaim and to challenge, the quarterly and stuff like that. I really don't see that as particularly likely. I think that if we are to trade up, that I'm going to continue to lean bearish for the medium term until we trade down into my targeted zone. So basically, any pop-ups should be sold into. So this is the value that we're working with right now. It's roughly 27.15 down to 26.7. So this is the comp that we're working with now. It's entering into the realm of it being a macro comp now because it's starting to exceed the multi-day realm. So I'll definitely will be using this comp for making my intraday theses on Bitcoin going into the week. I don't anticipate to be too active on Bitcoin. I'll touch on that later in the video, but my core anticipation is for active trading. It's going to be on altcoins probably. The shittier, the better. But for lower time frame trading with Bitcoin, using the VWAPs and then this composite will be the core approach for forming thesis this week. For more information, check out the Paragon group with the link below, where I cover everything from how I trade to how you can develop your own style. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the corn talk. My plan for active trading this week is going to be continuing to break out the old scalp system and scalping whatever shitcoins are moving. We don't have any good examples right now because market's pretty dead. If I had to guess, it's probably going to be Pepe again, but who knows? At the end of the day, I do not care. Whatever altcoin is moving is going to be the one that I'm trading. Okay, let's run through a few hard time frame alts. So there's not too many altcoins that I think need to be on the radar, but there are a couple, so we'll address them. So Tomo is one of the core strong altcoins that I continue to watch the structure on this one throughout the entire year, especially into April and May when most coins started to show their peak weakness. Tomo has continued to show strength. So I think at this point it's basically a matter of time before this major support or major resistance of $1 gets smashed, and then it's kind of going to be smooth sailing from there. It has quite a bit of a gap upwards from there. So continuing to watch Tomo for potentially trend continuation. Same kind of argument with Kava and whatever this coin is as well. Basically the same kind of thesis. These things have had really strong reclaims on the VWAPs. So I will be paying attention to potential buy the dip zones. The core thing is that with these kind of shit coins for trend continuation, going to be really focused in on what the corn is doing. The last one that I wanted to touch on was Render. So this is one, it's been a weird coin for me personally. I've had some wins and some losses here and there. I haven't really synced up with this coin too well, to be honest, but this thing absolutely blew out some shorts this weekend. So I will be potentially watching for a buy the dip on this coin as well. Everything about the VWAP structuring is super strong on it, so continuing to watch Render. The last one for hard time frame to run through is going to be Litecoin. The halvening is less than 80 days away. It's probably 71 or 72 days away now. Pretty much every Litecoin halvening I've traded. This will be the third one I've traded now. Litecoin always likes to go on a run up leading into the halvening, so I'm going to just go low IQ with it again. I know I talked about this a lot at the beginning of 2023 and at the end of 2022. My original, Litecoin position I accumulated in December in the mid 60s, and then I sold it in the 90s. So I am reaccumulating in that same price zone again, basically. I don't really care again really what my entry is. It's just more so about getting in while strength persists. So yeah, I'm probably going to look to buy more Litecoin and get back up to my full size position on spot. So then the last altcoin to touch on is going to be Pepe. This is probably going to be the shitcoin that I'm trading this week, but again, I don't really care what the structure looks like or anything like that on it. I just care that there's high activity. Okay, then the very, very last one to be touching on is going to be Arbitrum. I am potentially gonna keep the close eye on this one because, you know, if Bitcoin wants to trade upwards, Arbitrum might be one that I look at. I don't like that the VWAP structuring is so bad, but trading, you know, copy trading my doodles on Arbitrum or any of these shitcoins for that matter has printed. So potentially be, you know, kind of maybe trying to trade this range and seeing if the bottom wants to, you know, round out more and ultimately trade upwards. But I don't have too high of hopes for this one, but just wanted to lightly touch on it. So to be clear, you know, for trend continuation, I'm focusing on my Gigastrong coins. I want to buy more Litecoin, and then for active trading, it's probably going to be Pepe this week. Again, it literally is as simple as, you know, where's the trading activity, and that's where I'm going to go. So that's it for the week. Good luck, everybody. Cheers.